Back another awesome Nioh video guide and build. It's going to be my first guide and build that I've actually created for you guys out there. Hopefully you guys won't mind it. As the video says, it will be the Kagu-tsuchi fire build. For those who are trying to figure out who Kagu-tsuchi was, he was pretty much a fire deity god through Japanese mythological history. With on that note, let's kind of go ahead and get in. So, like I said, this video is also the build itself is still in the making, so this is only a part one of it. But I kind of wanted to bring this to people out there who's looking perhaps maybe for a fire build, just to pretty much wreak holy hell. And utmost opinion, fire's pretty potent builds for the most general part. On that note, let's kind of get into it and show you guys what's going on. Alright, so what I tried to do is I went with the red demon armor due to the class skills and so forth like that. Alright, weapon and choice of hand. I kind of, like I said, none of this has been maxed with any kind of familiarity on it. Just like I said, still in a rough draft making, so please forgive me, but I'm sure that in due time that'll definitely be enhanced up quite dramatically with even more additional fire. So what I did was I ran with the Shinrai Nioh. But excuse me if I mispronounce some of these names. Not the best tongue with Japanese. Alright, we're getting right into this one here. As you see, the Kagu-tsuchi has a close combat damage on it with the final blow. These are actually two maxed out low style numbers, but they will max out at 20% for your combat damage, and roughly, I think it's 24 to right at almost 25% with your final blow. Also, I applied, since one of the new perks that we've been getting was fire damage, was additional for the weapon itself, which we already have fire with a plus 11. So that is at the moment 45.9%. And then I was a bit torn between two other roles that I have here. I have close combat damage attack when the enemy has been scorched. And then also, last I have is the status alignment on augmentation. Also as well when they're scorched, roughly meaning that as long as they're scorched, the fire burning will actually accumulate more and more as they continue to burn by constantly applying the close combat damage and so forth like that. Also, if you notice as well, my 7 slot perk is blank. I'm actually torn between one or two things. I'm not quite sure if I want to run key damage while the enemies is scorched. I'm thinking about that, but then again, I might roll another one as well with just change to attack and your dexterity, as I normally would do in most all my Kagu-tsuchi, being able to give it still yet again more base damage as well. As well as I went with the red demon spear as well. There's a couple of spears out there, but I really didn't particularly want this one. But instead, I actually just kind of rolled with the gear set as well, because I am going to be one shy on what I was running with as well. Like I said, some of these perks like this close combat attack, that actually needs to be rolled into something else. The fire damage is fine. Skill key reduction, like I said, I'm not really good when it comes to spear builds, honestly. I seen the final blow there. I knew that was actually good. Close combat damaging while the enemies are scorched while using spear, I know that's actually good. Perhaps I can rotate. I want to also kind of keep the skill key reduction down, so when applying any kind of skill attacks, it's going to reduce off the amount of key energy that I'm going to be blowing through as well. Like I said, there's a few things I'm kind of looking for. Perhaps even the additional fire, the fire damage as well, like I have on the Kagu-tsuchi. I'll just change that into the inheritance ability. I believe I have one of those floating around somewhere. So that's what I went with. Honestly, it didn't matter on your secondary. I just threw on a bow. I just Ryu. The main reason why you want to apply this one is because of the fire damage. Like I said, the fire damage as well. It will be stack with the rest of your fire damage, um, which is always a good thing. So I kind of went with that. Like I said, maybe throwing some agility bonus to keep yourself still, constantly moving and getting more points. And like I said, these rolls here can probably be tweaked slightly a little bit, for those who are looking for maybe armor ritter running abilities, or for farming methods, which I can get into later on another build. Also, I went with the Ogress mask. Actually was able to forge this in, and I knew it gives me the additional 15% more fire damage yet again. So that's actually yet again, like I mentioned, it will stack with the rest of the fire. On that note, I went with a little bit of toughness, a little additional life, and definitely some defense, so that I am in a light-weighted position now. Then I went again into going to try a little bit of ninjutsu spells in this class build. Like I said, it's still yet again more defense and more key. So what I'm going to do as well is, for each one, I want to actually roll. This is the big thing: is roll attacks from my gauntlets. I have other gauntlets on standby, ready to be rolled over with the attacks. So definitely apply all the attacks to the to each individual piece of armor as well. Yet again, in my chest, I have more ninjutsu. Like I said, I'm really trying to keep my ninjutsu kind of up and going a little bit, as well as some Onmyo. Onmyo will definitely help out with this. I throw a little bit of thrown weapons in there because, dude, I will be having a few things that I will be throwing. Hopefully that'll help beef up the damage, as well with some of my long range abilities. I also chose to go with notice as well that I do a lot of toughness and defense. I like that almost of all my armor, just so I'm like over here being SpongeBob squishy. So I definitely not only enjoy that by being slapped by giant sized yokais, being in a much higher position in the game, as well as I went with a new running speed and evasion key usages as well. These are things that, like I said, will probably be changed. The evasion will probably be changed, and the armor ritter earning will probably be flipped over for the evasion key usages, so you don't yet again reduce your key energy and be out on it at the end of the last minute. As well as, again, defense and key and the toughness will be changed yet again to another attack with if you notice, the yet again running speed and key evasion to constantly keep me on my toes. Most definitely. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Be sure you hit that subscribe and that like button. As well as I went with the Yasakani Magatama as well. There's probably better ones out there, but I mean, I got quite a bit handfuls, but none of the ones that really I feel like would work off the build. So I just threw one on just for medicinal purposes of it. It's sincere. Maybe you guys out there got a Yasakana Magatama that would help apply toward more scorches and so forth like that. That'll be a big help for the build as well. So if you guys have that, or even in a standard Magatama or fan or blades or beads or anything of that sort, apply it. Always bring more fire to the battle. And then also I happen to go with this earth charm, which is completely about backwards, but I only kept it due to the Onmyo damage with the fire shot at 17.2. So this is going to be, again, like I said, more damaging. So this fire shot here should actually stack with, I believe it's right here, thrown weapon damage. But I don't know if that's quite going to, being a fire shot, I don't know if it's going to stack with the Onmyo fire shot or not. If you guys happen to know, hey man, drop something below, let me know what it is. Let's go and get right into the shortcuts. I ran with a little bit of Tiger Scroll runs. I like being able to be mobile and moving. Power peels for up close and personal dirty work is always one of my preferable favorites, as well as quick changing scrolls for that oops in case if you get tagged and you end up dying for whatever reason. Hopefully these won't need to be really put into play that often. I always try to go with a weakness talisman, just lowering their defense down as well as sloth, bringing those bigger speedy guys down to a creepy crawl, and as well as my two long shots is I went with a fire shuriken, like I said, because we are staying in the fire build. Hopefully these things can actually be halfway decent, and then as well as my fire shot, hopefully with the amounts of fire, and eventually I'm going to build up more of my I guess it's the Nioh for my fire shots, and possibly even bring in a fire talisman later on in the future for this build as well, because I definitely want more fire shots. Do that, like I said, fire builds. Everything's going to kind of, hopefully, kind of blend in together the way I'm wanting it to. With that being said, we'll go into my guardians. Let's see here. Kind of show you the guardians I went with that I felt that was most comfortable. I went with Suzaku, just because if we want to run the critical, so it's like a insane critical build kind of thing, we can always do that. But mainly because her her passive ability is the fire damage at 32%, which is freaking awesome. And then definitely can fight off the fire as need be. And then with my and then also, if you notice the additional bonus, which would be right here, the additional right there, the additional fire damage to 5.5%, increase more yet again fire based attacks. So that's kind of being stacked with the fire. Then with my secondary, I went with would be Hanizumi. I just figured with this, if I was choosing to go with getting myself into a critical position to thanks Camel. If I wanted to get myself into a position to actually run a critical run or Armorita farming for that matter, what I'm saying? Like, I'm still able to go, with Suzaku, putting her into the critical state, and then having this here enhance up the attacks, so while I'm running around, I'm going to be kind of like double buffed regardlessly, plus with the fire. So I'm hoping anyway that this build, it would be what we're looking for as far as this entire flame build. So that pretty much takes care of that. Now we'll go right into the perks and stuff. Don't freak out about this, about the level. I can kind of break it down a little bit easier for you guys out there who are looking. So obviously we know we're using a Kusarigama and we're using a spear. So right off the get-go, dexterity and skill would definitely blend into your Kusarigama. Okay, and even though my stats aren't really made, so to speak, for this build, the stats is very easy to explain. Dexterity for your Kusarigama with skill, and obviously kick in your body for your for the spear. I would definitely apply these in between, depending on which one or how you guys choose to balance this out, as well as even throwing in a little bit of heart, just to have that extra bit of ki. Honestly, you won't even need your spirit up to 30 even remotely if you're just going to be running like Suzaku and the little mouse. I can't remember the mouse's name, but yeah, you won't even. Don't even believe you'll need it up to 30, and as well as your magic as well. You probably can reduce your magic down by half of what I have, so that wouldn't be any issues of that. And like I said, bringing your dexterity and your skill and your body up through time of playing and the grind. Everybody has to grind, that's for sure. You would be able to max out this build, and it with me believing it. I think right now that's going to kind of do it. I'm going to do, just for whatever giggles, I just want to kind of go in here and just see what we can produce just with the baseline of this build. Everybody knows me pretty much famous for running Hyaki Yagio missions. I love the bosses. So we're going to kind of just, do a little field testing. There's no guarantee how it'll come out, but, just with looks alone and me really putting something together for my first time, hopefully, it'll actually come out good. I normally never throw out videos for builds. I normally just build, make my builds on the fly for my community. And those of you who don't know, be sure to come check out my community in the PlayStation Network, which is Nioh Blade Runners. Be sure to come check us out. We have multiple people in there that are able to construct different builds. We got bare fisters, we got spear builds, dual blades, axes, spin the winds, you name it, they're out there within my community that I put together with a couple of my good friends, and definitely met a whole bunch of new friends through the community as well. So let's kind of get right in here and see what goes on here. Let's go and go with this one here, this one here, this one here. Alright, hit it with that one and hit it with that one. Yeah. Ooh. Like I said, it might be a while, but the build I think will come along pretty decent. Poof. Poof. Definitely being that agile was definitely keep up the ability that I'm looking for. Oops. Come on, hold still now. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, put a little hold on her right quick. Uh-huh. Yeah. Let's get ready for Hino Inma now. Alright, put her to sleep. Alright, let's go right on into the extra fire build here. Yeah, there's the fire I'm looking for. Yeah, we're looking at 600 plus on the fire damage. Awesome deal. Yeah, like I said, for this hopefully to be a build in the making. Like I said, this is the part one of it. Once I start applying the rest of the additional attacks and so forth like that, I think this build will actually be pretty good overall. At least that's my hopes. You know, I like as well. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. For everybody's out there watching it, thank you, Cam, my man. I appreciate it. I can be here in a moment. Actually, I'm not in it right now, but if you want, I can actually open one up. Another thing too is I'm going to actually have about a handful of builds that I'm going to try to create, as you guys seen there, which was the fire build that I wanted to bring, which was one of my first ones. Also, one thing I want to remind you guys as well, it's easily tempted to pick up red demon armor laid across the ground everywhere, but if you guys have noticed, all my armor, body skills, and requirements are all at 6. Be sure you guys bust your rear ends like I did to get the texting smith for this armor set, because it took me forever to grind out the mission. And those of you not sure where to get this armor set at, I can show you guys right now. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the Kenkai, Here it is. Yeah, it'll be the red Oni of the Lee. Constantly just wear this battle out. It's quite easy. It's not hard. It doesn't matter what difficult you guys set on. You can go all into the way of the samurai or strong mode. Your guys' choice, whatever you're comfortable with, and just farm it. Maybe drop on the spider to bring you good luck, or whatever that spider's name is. I rarely need to use them. Which the spider will be right. Yeah. Itokori, yeah, I would say, use Itokori and Dabawashi for item drop percentages and stuff to really help get, everything hopefully picked up easier. Maybe the drop rate will be better. Also, don't forget to change your Kadama blessings over as well. That'll always be assistance as well with doing that. Like I said, that's really all I have for you guys right now for the Kagu-tsuchi fire deity build. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep the names with as much within the Japanese realm of reality that we have Nioh through. So hopefully guys will like this video as well. In the future, I actually have a couple other builds that I really want to look at. I'm trying to bring in a Fujin build as well. My Fujin build will be, for those who know, Fujin is the god of wind through Japanese. I'm actually going to create a wind build with the Kusorigamas and so forth like that as well. And another one, I'm actually going to try to bring in every element is what I'm going to end up doing, and then as well as possibly a PvP build as well. And it really, in my opinion, when it comes to the PvP build, it's all going to be about your guys' choice, weapon wise and stuff like that. Like, I know it works for me, but what works for me might not work with you guys. So, we'll just kind of see. But even if you're, say, for example, the build I'm looking at, it's flexible for roughly all builds. It's more tactician than just kind of running in there and just slaying them out. But I want to get in that on a later date. That'll be one of the toward a later date when I go for the PvP build. But I think the next build I'm going to begin to work on will be it's a really toss up between the Fujin or my war build. I need to actually gain Texting Smith for the actual new gear to create the Fujin build of a lifetime. Like I said, I was real fortunate to get some good, decent rolls on my Kusorigama finally. So, on that note, guys, this is the build that I created for you guys. Like I said, it's still in the making. I'm gonna bring another video back once I get it fully maxed out with familiarity, raise it up to a decent level of at least 215 with a plus 15 at least, to get a decent idea of what we're going to be capable of doing with this build. Like I said, that's all I got for my Kagu-tsuchi build for this evening. Be sure you guys coming in, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and by all means, if there's any comments that you guys see perhaps that I might have missed or went over, or something perhaps even you guys want to see, be sure to let me know in below in the comments. Anything that you guys and the feedback that you guys are able to give me is always much appreciated. With that note being said, man, it's your guy Dragon back on Nioh. Be sure to come check us out in the community, Nioh Blade Runners, and you guys have a good evening.